you really follow this sequence, you can just take it out, guys. I'm sure on it, because I have seen a lot of people. I mean, this is not the very first time I'm taking the batch, right? Almost I have finished almost 80 to 90 batches. I have already finished batches. I'm working in Naresh IT since, I think it's been 8 years or 9 years. Okay. So since then I was working with the student. I have seen a lot of students, not just only from the CSE background or from the computer background, but people who are from the cross background also. I could able to train them, and they have done this. But among all this, when I say that a student who is from cross background, I could able to make him as a programmer, it is not my credits. The 80% of the credit goes to him. Only 20% I can just explain. On the top 80%, what are his things he has done? He has done the practice what I have asked for. He has done the assignments what I have asked for. He has done the practice. I mean, what do you say? He has kept the questions whenever he is having a blocker there. So I want everyone to do this, guys. It is really a very good opportunity. So be strong and be master in the programming. Okay, so we are going to explore a lot of things. It is the basics what we have started with. Later we are going to start with the control structures. We'll be looking into the logical programming, the bigger object oriented programming, server side programming. Hell lot of things we are going to explore. So among all this, the only few things, I'm not asking that you need to put some 60-20 hours of hard working here. Not needed. Minimally 3 to 2 hours of practice is more than enough for these technologies. Remaining all, it is recommended you go for other technology and learn some more things. Okay, so please make your mind so clear that here you are sitting here to get master into this, not just attending the classes. Okay, anyone, guys, any type of student, they can learn it and they can make it out. Okay, boost up yourself. And if you have any blocker, if you say that, boss, yeah, I'm doing everything what you are saying, still I'm not able to do, come to me, we'll sit, we'll talk, and we'll find out the solution for that. Am I clear? Everyone? Yeah. So try to understand this program, guys. What is the program I have asked for? So what I'm asking is, boss, you need to work with some student details. So earlier, yesterday, when I asked you, okay. Yesterday, when I asked you for, boss, you need to work with something called, find out multiplication of two numbers. So what was my requirement? My requirement is, boss, you need to take some two variables. You need to find out the multiplication and you need to return the result back to the user. Now, in order to do that, what you have done? You have taken two variables, say some f value or first value and second value. You have taken those variables. You have find out the multiplication. You have taken the result into one of the variable called as result variable. You have shown the result back to the user. That is what you have done. Yes. In the same way, now what I'm asking for you, I'm asking that, boss, you need to take the student details, like you need to take the name, you need to take the age, you need to take the gender, you need to take the subject of 3 marks. These are the details what you need to hard code. Now what you need to do, if you take the average and total also, then what is the use of writing the coding? Isn't it? Now I say, I want to find out the multiplication of two numbers. I say A1 is equal to say some 10. I say where A2 is equal to something called as 20. Now if I say result is equal to something called as 200, what is the use of writing this program? Yes or no? I should not hard code this guy. I need to say something called as A1 into A2. This is what I need to do, so that my application will be capable of calculating the mathematical operation dynamically. In the same way, now I want to work with the student details. What are the details I wanted? The very first thing what you need to understand is identify the variables. What all the variables you would wanted in order to take the values. I have to take the student name. I say something called as S name equal to something called say some Tina. Okay. And you already know, is this is the declaration or initialization? Line number 13 is the declaration or the initialization? Come on. Both initialization and declaration. Am I not declaring it? Yes. Am I not initializing it? Yes, it is. Earlier, what we have done, I used to say something called as S name. Okay. And later I used to say S name equal to something called as Raj. This is what we have. Now this line number 13 is equal to the declaration. Line number 14 is equal to the initialization. But now coming to the line number 16, initialization and declaration. So it's up to you, whatever the way you want to go with. Okay. Now, I am going to say, is it is mandatory that it should be S name, or can I say something called as var A or A is equal to Raj? Can I do this? Yes, it is possible. Is it is recommended? Not recommended. Whenever you are giving the variable names, it is recommended to go with the self-descriptive variable names. Okay. Now, when I say A, I'm not sure like what is Raj? Is it the country name, street name, username, college name, office name? What is that? Now, when I say something called as S name, it just gives some extra information. It is a student name. In fact, you can even say that STUT and student name, something like this. So it is more descriptive. Okay. The maximum, the descriptiveness you have to add whenever you're declaring the variable names. Don't think that boss, the space is going to be increased. When I say small a equal to so and so, it is taking one character. But when I say student name, it is taking too much of characters. Boss, the space is not going to get out from your pocket. Okay, the space is from the system and it's not going to eat too much of memory. Make it self-descriptive variable names, because whenever you're writing the program, it is not just you are going to work on that. It is when you go into the real time, and number of people, hundreds of people work on the same project. So when they look into these variables, they should not come back to you and ask you that, boss, why you have given this? Okay, the coding should be in such a way that you have written the code, someone else is coming, they could able to easily understand the code. When they come back to you and ask you the question that why you have written this, that is not a good programming. Am I clear? Yeah. So I would like to go with some student details here. So what I'm saying is, I say S name. I want to store the age also. I say S age. I want to store the gender also. I say S gender. Okay, like this. Now I say S name equal to say some Tina. I say S age is equal to say some 10. I say S gender is equal to something called as female. This is what the variables I have declared and I have initialized them. Any questions up to this? Everyone? Okay. Now I say I as per my requirement, I need to work with some 3 subject marks also. Now I say var M1 is equal to say some 90. I say var M2 is equal to say some 99. Var M3 is equal to say some 78, something like this. Okay. Now these are the variables what you are hard coding. What do you mean by hard coding? What do you mean by hard coding? Taking the values directly. Now, when I say something called as M1 equal to 90, is it possible to change? No, I have directly assigned that it is 90. In future, we will also see something called as dynamic values. We will ask the user that, boss, give me the value of the marks, give me the value of the name, give me the value of the gender. You will be asking the user. That is what we call it as dynamic values. Right now, you are hard coding. If a variable is being assigned with some static value, that is what we call it as hard coding values. Super fine. Now, after assigning these, after declaring them, after assigning them, now I need to calculate the total and average. Now, what I can say here, I say var total is equal to M1 plus M2 plus M3. One main thing what you need to understand, the coding guidelines, what we have is, whenever you're working with any of the operators, what do you mean by operators? Equal to, plus, minus, asterisk. Okay, so those all are called as operators. Whenever you're adding any type of operator on the page, it is recommended to put a space before and after. Recommended, not mandatory. If you say that, boss, what if I'm not going to put a space? Is it going to throw me an error? No, boss, it will work. But it is recommended as per the coding standards. Okay, whenever I'm using plus, whenever I'm using equal to, see here, wherever I'm using, I'm making it a self-descriptive, neat and clean type of coding, so that anyone looks into that, they will understand the code. Okay, now I have this total. Now I have say something called as var AVG is equal to total divided by 3. Any questions? Now when I save this guy, come back out here, open in the browser, inspect this. Nothing is happening. What is this application is doing? Why it is not showing any messages? Boss, we have written the piece of code in order to process the data. You haven't written any piece of code in order to show the result back to the user, isn't it? Then what I need to do here? I need to, again, do I need to go for alert or console? Recommended to go with the console, right? If it is alert, unnecessary pop-ups are coming. Now I say console dot log. I say something called as student details. Okay. I say console dot log. I say student name is plus S name. I say console dot log age is plus age. Why I'm using, it should be SH. Yeah, why I'm using plus operator here? We are not doing any arithmetic operation. Plus is not an arithmetic operation here, boss. It is just a separator between a string and a variable. Okay. In the same way, I say console dot log total is plus total. And I say average console dot log AVG is plus AVG. Any questions? Here, I have used the gender, but I'm not showing it. Does it make any problem? I am declaring a variable called as sgender, but I was never displaying it. It's up to me, boss. Isn't it? You're not declaring it, making use of it will throw an error. Now, if I say age, okay, forget about that. We'll talk about that. But when you're declaring it, you're not making use of it, it's up to you. When you're not declaring it, you're trying to making use of it, that is an error. Okay. You are so clear when and how the errors will be shown on the page. If it is JavaScript, in which tab it is going to show me the errors? Console tab. If you miss any type of syntactical or logical errors, it automatically shows the errors within the console itself. When I'm saving this guy, come back and reload this guy. When I'm reloading this guy, now it says that student details are name is so and so, age is so and so, total is so and so, average is so and so. Are we clear up to this? Everyone? Guys, any piece of question on this example, do let me know. Come on, go to each and every line, especially for the people who are new to the programming. Come on. So simple and straightforward. Okay, modular wise, I have declared one of the variables. I have assigned some values. I have assigned some marks. I am doing some processing of total and average. I am showing the result back to the user. No questions. Zero questions. Okay. Console.log is the output statement. That is what we discussed yesterday, right, Archita? Yesterday we discussed that, right? When I say console.log, that is what I can see the message within the console tab. Okay, Satish, from line number 25 to 21, can I make it on a single line? 25 to 21, 25 to 29. Yeah, it can be done, right? Okay, he's saying that, boss, you are writing multiple console.logs, right? Is it possible to write on a single line? Yes, I say console.log name is plus S name. I again put plus operator. Why so? Because again, this is a string, this is a variable. Separator is plus. Now this is a variable, this is a string. Obviously, plus separator has to come. Okay. I say age is plus S age. See here on a single line, I should be able to see the name and age. Yes. Like this, can you add the remaining all variables also? Yes, it's up to you. Hope I'm clear with the question, Satish. Okay. Lokesh, why you are putting before name, age, S? Can anyone tell me? He's saying that why you're putting S? It's up to me, Lokesh. I just want to say that it is a student name. You want to say some, your Lokesh, right? Put LS name. Fine. Okay, it's up to you. Anything you want, we can put it. Just it is indication that it's a student. That's it. Am I clear? Are we good? Can we go forward? Simple and straightforward, this example. Everyone. Write a program to work total salary where total salary is equal to basic salary plus HRA plus PF. Total salary is equal to HRA plus PF plus basic salary, where HRA is 24% of basic salary, PF is 14% of basic salary. HRA is 24% of basic salary, PF is 14% of basic salary. Yeah, can you do this? Okay, first of all, in order to, let me show a simple logic for finding the percentages. I say A is equal to 90. I want to find out 8% of 90. How do I go for? So simple value or var result is equal to A into 8 divided by 100. Everybody knows this? Okay, you cannot say that, boss, I need to find out the 8%, 9%, 8. No, because yesterday I already discussed this. Whenever you say percentile, it is a modulus operator. It is used to find out the remainder, not the percentage value. If you have to find out the percentage, this is how the formula you need to write. Now, if I have to find out the 24%, you know the formula? Yes or no? Yes, write the program, guys. Let me see who is going to throw me first. You need to work with the employee details. You have the details, name, age, gender, department, and basic salary has to be hard coded. Three values, what you need to find out is total, PF, and HRA. Okay, if you want to get the reference, you can take the student details as a reference. Let me copy this. Take the student details as a reference. I want everyone to try it out. Don't sit idle. If you have a question, you can ask me. Guys, online students, what is the question repeat? I already did it for many number of times. I asked that, write a program to work with the student details like the name, age, department, and basic salary. Now you need to calculate the total salary and PF and HRA. Okay, and these are the formulas at the bottom at line number 34. Come on, who is going to throw me first? If you have question, ask me, guys. Don't sit idle. Yes. Come on, that is what I discussed, right? I said that example. I just shown you that example that, boss, if at all I have to find out the 8th percentage of 90, this is how it is. Because you have 24th percent 14, right? Now you can calculate it. Okay. Done. Anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay. So online students who all have done that, Tejashwini. Basic salary 80 rupees. And one more thing, total salary, you don't need to hard code it, right? Total salary has to be calculated, but remaining things good. Nice. Ravi. Looks good, Ravi. Only thing is, whenever you have the 20,000, right? Instead of putting that variable, you can directly use the basic salary variable. Sanjana. Looks very good, Sanjana. Nice. Rohit. Very good, Rohit. But the only thing is when you say HR equal to 24 by 100 into salary, right? Try to put the braces. Just 24 by 100 is into braces. Okay. Remaining all good. Archita. Archita, you cannot say HR equal to 24 percentile. Percentile symbol cannot be used. Okay. So it has to be changed. Harshit. You're into development role and you put the department as testing. Yeah, looks very good. Nice. Only thing is, yeah, looks good. Supriya. Looks good. Nice. Shrikant. Very good. Jayesh. Very good. Akshay. Nice. Pragya, you gave me the variable names. Remaining, shall I do it? Sahu. Looks very good, Sahu. Nice. Kushal. Why you added my name and you gave the department as testing? Nice. Kushal. Sloka. Nice. That's it. Anyone else? Nagendra. Very good, Nagendra. Only thing is when you're saying PF equal to 35,000, right? Instead of 35,000, you can just simply say basic salary into 14. Okay. Naveen. Looks good, Naveen. Nice. Sir, didn't understand. Archita, when you say that variable A, PF is equal to 24 percentile, I already said you, right? There is no meaning of the percentile. You cannot expect that percentile will give you the percentage of that. Okay, let me do this, guys. You want me to solve it? You want me to solve it? Okay, so when I'm working with this employee details, so what is the very first thing? Anytime you're working any of the, I mean, when you're going to write any of the program, first of all, you need to understand what are the variables I wanted here. Okay, what variables I wanted here? I say EMP name, I say EMP basic salary, I say EMP department, I say EMP age. Okay, now I say EMP name equal to say some so and so. I say EMP department is equal to something called as IT. EMP basic salary equal to say something like this. EMP age is say some so and so. These are the values what I'm hard coding. Now everyone is so clear what do you mean by hard coding means? Everyone? Yes. Now on the top, now I need to calculate the total salary. But before calculating the total salary, I need to calculate the PF and HRA because total salary has to have the PF and HRA. Now I say var PF is equal to what is PF I said? I said it is 14th percentage of basic salary. What I need to do? I need to say EMP basic salary into 14 divided by 100. Now, when you say simply something called as var PF equal to 14 percentage, do you have any meaning for that? No. Okay, you cannot give like this. As I just mentioned, percentile doesn't mean that it is going to calculate the percentage of it. You need to put the formula for this. Okay, now I said PF equal to so and so. In the same way, var HRA is equal to what is my basic salary? So and so, same formula where my percentage is changing. Instead of 14, it should be 24. Any questions? Okay, now I need to calculate the total salary here now. I need to say var total salary is equal to basic salary plus HRA plus PF. Done, boss. This is what I asked you to do. Nothing logical, nothing complex here, right? Okay, now what I need to do now? I need to show the result back to the user. Now I say console.log name is plus EMP name. In the same way, I say console.log, I say total salary is total salary. I'm not showing in remaining other values. You know how do we do this, right? So when I run this guy, inspect this, go for console, you see the name is Krish and his total salary is so and so. This is how simple, guys. I mean, what's the complexity here? People who haven't shown me or haven't written, are you clear with this now? Anyone questions? Just understand this. Anyone, please let me again, I'm telling you, we haven't touched anything logical. Once we go with the loopings, control structures and all, it will be too much of complex and logical things are going to come into the picture. This is straightforward. If you don't understand this, we need to think on this. We'll work on that. But do let me know if you have any questions. Are we good? Online students, can we go forward? Or any questions on this example? Nice. Next. Do you want to do another example on these variables? Or can we go with the next topic? Next topic. Nice. What is your next topic? Before control structures, there is something called as variable hoisting. I say where EMP or I say A is equal to say some 90. If I say console.log A value, what is the value which is being shown? Understand the sequence, guys. This is very important to understand the variable hoisting concept. 90. Now, when I work in this guy, I say inspect, I see the console which is showing as 90. Clear, everyone? Okay. On the top, I said where B and I try to get the value of B here. What is expected? Everyone, undefined. Obviously, the variables which is declared but not been assigned anything by default holds a value called as undefined. Okay. Now, when I say where result equal to A plus B. Now I say console.log result. What is expected? I am saying 90 plus undefined. Is it 90? No, right? What is the answer you are going to get? NaN. It is not, it full form, not a number. Everyone, not a number. So whenever you are going to try to find out an addition, arithmetic operation between a number and non-number, obviously it is not a number. That is what the issue it is showing. Okay, anyway, this is not the case for me. Now, I said var equal to 90. I said var be here and it is coming as undefined. I say console dot log z value. Okay. What it is going to come? Undefined, null, or error? Error. Why so? There is no variable called as z and you are trying to access the value of the z, which is error. So it is simply saying like, boss, it is a reference error. I couldn't able to identify the variable called as z here. Are we good up to this? Everyone? Okay. Now I say where z is equal to say some 100. Now I would like to show the value of z at line number 20. You tell me at line number 17, what is the value of z? 100. How come it is 100, boss? I am declaring the variable z at not before. Before initializing the value, I am trying to access that guy. Yes. Who all says that it is an error? Who all says it is an error, including me? I'm there. I'm saying it is an error. Ma'am, what is that? You're raising the hand? No. Okay, one. Next. No one says error. No one supports me. Very nice. Okay. Then what is the answer? Okay, online I have some support. Sanjay, Sahiti, Rohit, Supriya, Tarun. Very nice. Okay. Then what is, okay, you don't support me. You say that it is not an error. Then what you're going to get at line number 17? Undefined. How come? 100. Come on, boss. I am accessing the value of the z before it is being declared. So do I have the value of the z? Yes. Okay. Let us see that. When I reload it, what I got? You're so confident, 100. Okay. Yeah. What is the thing, guys, here? You see the issue here is, boss, you have to get line number 17 at, I mean, you're trying to access the values variable Z here. You are expecting that it has to be error, because that is a very valid statement, because you are trying to access the value of the variable before it has been initialized. Obviously, by this line number 17, JavaScript is a top to bottom approach application, guys. Okay, it always executes the things always from the top to bottom. Okay, one by one, it is executing. I'm executing 13, I'm executing 13. I know what is the value of A. Now, when you say 14, I'm showing the value of A. I'm executing line number 15. Now, when you ask me, I say that it is undefined. But now when I'm executing 17, I don't know variable Z. I need to throw an error. That is a valid statement, isn't it? But instead of error, it is saying like it is undefined. But when you come to line number 20, it should be throwing a value. You see here, if I comment out this guy, obviously it is showing the value of 100 here. This is fine because you know the value of the Z. That is the reason it is coming. But what is this undefined here? Either it has to come as an error or it has to be an 100. Why it is undefined? There is a concept, something called as variable hoisting. So before talking about the variable hoisting, let us talk something about other programming languages. For example, who all have an idea of C language? Most of you. Now I'm going to put some questions. Now who knows this? No one raises. Okay. In your C language, there is a rule saying that all the variables has to be declared before starting of the application itself. Agree? In your C language, say for example, you're writing some 1,000 lines of code. Now in your 1,000 lines of code, you might be using some 100 variables. But what C language says is, you know, I say something called as var, not var. In your C language, I say int A, I say int B. Okay, I say A equal to 90. I say B is equal to say some 99. I say float result is equal to A plus B. Okay, I say printf, the sum is percentile D, comma, ampersand result. Is the statement is correct? Sorry? Percentile F, because it is float. Okay. This is what I need to do. If at all I need to write the sum of two numbers in your C language. Here, if I say int sum AVG equal to 90 or 100, if I do this, is it going to throw me an error? Yes, it is. Why the reason? What C language says is, the very first thing what you do in your application is, you have to say int average over here itself. You cannot declare the variables wherever you wanted. Okay, what your C language is saying is, you might be using n number of variables in your application, but it is not possible for you to declare the variables wherever you wanted. Where I have to declare the variables, you need to declare all the variables at the very starting of the application. So this will, they have something called as a main method. Void main method is the one which is starting application. Whereas coming to your JavaScript, this is again a good question, guys. Who all have an idea of Java? Now questions. Okay, who all have an idea of C++? Okay, very nice. Okay, when you come to your C language, what is the starting point of your application? I may give some 1,000 lines of code. What is the starting point? Main method. When you come in your C language, is more void or just main? Main. In your C++, we can go with the void main. Okay, when you come to your Java, what is the starting point? Public static void main. I mean, any class which is having the any class which is having the main method, public static void main, that will be the main. So you know one thing, I mean, in case of your C language, you may have some hundreds of lines before or hundreds of lines after. You say something called as main method. Like this. So you may be having some n number of lines before, n number of lines after. But whenever you give this program to the C compiler, the very first thing what it looks for is the main method. Okay, it will go to the main method. It will execute this. If you call a method, I will go outside and all, but it will never ever go with. If you don't have a main method, your C language is not going to get executed. The same thing happens with your Java. If you don't have any main class, it's not going to get executed. So that is like a starting point for them. Okay. But now coming to the JavaScript, do we have any starting point? For JavaScript, there is no starting point, guys. For JavaScript, the line number 1, what you have given itself is my starting point. Okay, this is again a good interview question. People will ask you, what is the starting point from where the JavaScript is going to get started executing? Okay, it's all the starting point is the very first line. HTML is going to get executed top to bottom. JavaScript also always executed from the top to bottom. The one which has been given at the very top is the one which is going to get executed first. Super fine. Now, when I come to the other languages, the rule what we have is you need to declare the variables only at the starting. You cannot declare the variables wherever you want it. Why the reason they are saying that? The reason is when you have, say for example, I have some 100 variables in my application. It might be some 1,000 lines of code. I have written 100 variables here. So what C language says is I need to allocate the memory first for all the variables. Then I start executing the instructions. Okay, I need to allocate the memory for each and every variable. Then I need to go with the execution of the code. Am I clear? Now, I cannot execute or I cannot allocate the memory wherever you wanted. You come to the 100th line, you say that integer A. Now I cannot allocate the memory. That is the reason I say that, boss, the first thing what you need to do is tell me what are the variables you wanted. I will allocate the memory, then I start executing the things. But yes, there is some malloc and calloc header files using which you can allocate the memory dynamically. But that's a different case. In general, it cannot do that. The syntax, what it is having is first declare the variables, then you go with the execution. Clear, everyone? What is happening in your C language? Now come to the JavaScript. Are we declaring the variables at the starting or wherever we wanted? Everyone, wherever we wanted, we are declaring the variables. JavaScript is getting executed successfully. No errors being thrown. Super fine. Does that mean implies JavaScript is not putting a restriction for you, saying that you need to declare the variables only at the starting? Does that mean earlier C language was asking me to put the variable at the very starting because he cannot allocate the memory at wherever you want it? He is allocating the memory first, then he's going with the execution. If JavaScript is not asking for that, does that mean JavaScript can allocate memory whenever it wanted? Obviously, yes. But that is not the case. Even JavaScript also cannot allocate the memory whenever you want it. Then how come it is possible? Even JavaScript also wanted the variables to be declared at the starting so that I will allocate the memory, then I will go with the execution. But as a developer, I'm not doing this. Then how come it is happening? It is going to happen automatically in your JavaScript. So what JavaScript is saying is, boss, you might be declaring the variables like this. I say var student name equal to say some Tina. I say console.log name is plus Tina. Sorry, S name. Okay. You might be writing this code. I'm writing the variable wherever I wanted. You as a developer might be writing the code wherever you wanted. But what JavaScript will do is, whenever you give this piece of code, I will be rewriting it by automatically moving all the variable declarations to the starting of the code. You are writing this. You know what JavaScript will do? It will say that var a comma b comma z comma s name. This is what JavaScript is going to do. It is going to remove this var. This is not needed. This is not needed. This is not needed. When you write this piece of code, internally JavaScript is converting into this guy. What it is doing here? I am identifying. You may give me 1,000 lines of code to me. I will identify each and every variable declaration. I will be moving the declaration to the starting of the application automatically. I'm not going to ask the developer to do that. I'm automatically doing that internally before executing the piece of code. Okay, you give me any number of lines of code. First job what I have is I will identify where the variable declarations are there. I will move all the variable declarations at the starting. And first main thing you need to understand is when I am declaring this S name to the top, I am not moving Tina value. Initialization will be at the same place. Okay, initialization will be at the same place, only the declaration will be moved on to the top of this. Now the concept of automatically identifying all the variable declarations and moving on to the top of it, only the declaration, not the initialization. This concept, we call it as a variable hoisting concept. Are we clear? Okay, now we understand why I am getting the Z as undefined here. Even though you are declaring the Z, okay, why I'm getting the undefined at line number 17 here, even though you say that boss, where is here, but how come it is happening at the background where Z is moving on the top? So here my Z value is undefined, but when you come over here, initialization is 100, here it is becoming as 100. Are we clear? Just open the notes, guys. What is the statement you have inside your notes? On what page number it is having? 58, 57. Okay, so if you see here, what is the variable hoisting means? Everybody read it out. Most of the programming languages forces to declare a variable only at the starting of the program so that it can allocate the memory, then it works on the variables. Agree? Can you tell me the example of most of the languages? C language, super fine. Now you read the first point. I want everyone in JavaScript, it is not mandatory to declare the variables only at the starting of the program. Pause. Is it valid? Agree everyone? In JavaScript, it is not mandatory to declare the variables at the starting. Okay, next. But can be declared anywhere you wanted within the application. Wherever you wanted, you can declare the variables. Right? Nice. Next one. While executing the application, JavaScript performs variable hoisting process in which it identifies all the variable declaration within the application and moves declarations to the starting of the application. Is it automatically happening or manually? Automatically by JavaScript. Next point. The process of moving the variable declaration to the starting of the application, we call it as hoisting. Okay, next. What is the note we have given? While moving the declarations, it only moves the declarations to the starting, not the initialized value. Agree everyone? Now, when I'm saying something called as sname equal to Tina, I'm not moving this variable and declaration. Okay, I'm only saying that where sname will be here and this guy will be the same place where you have declared the variable. Declarations is not going to move on the top. Only the initialization will move on to the top. Clear everyone? Online students, are we good? Next. Okay, do we have any other questions online? Can we go forward? Can you go for yes, ma'am? If you don't want to apply variable hoisting in the application, in a That's what I mean. If you say that, boss, I don't want to use the variable hoisting in the application, choose a different language. I mean, in JavaScript, there's the default, man. I mean, you say, for example, the default things being provided by the language, we cannot override them, right? Custom way.